clones as he's trying to fight them off, but nothing's working. He's getting destroyed. Like, he doesn't even stand a chance against one of them. He's getting wrecked by all of them. He's getting bodied as his bones are cracking and his, the tissue on his skin is literally peeling off because of how much he's getting hit and how much blood is rising to his skin. And he goes, he says in his head, well, this is the end for me. There's nothing I can do here. They're just gonna kill me. What's even wrong with them? But then he realizes the strands in their hair. He says, wait a minute. Akane, Sarah, Troy, and Remy, and Alex don't have red strands in their hair? What? He says in his head, they might be clones, so I don't have to go easy on them. As instantly he's about to be killed by a stray blast by Akane, when he pulls out a sword and cuts it in half. As the blast reflects right at her and hits her, exploding her, as the clone is finally poofed. As Troy comes from behind to kill him with a stab, and it stabs through him as he goes, but he still stands. As he grabs the sword and pulls it through him, pulling Troy throughout his entire skeletal system. As he is durable. My dude's very durable, and Troy got burned throughout his insides. Because remember, Adrian doesn't have actual insides. He has blue flame insides, which means they're made of blue flames, which means if anyone touches them, they're gonna die. As he goes, as he blasts Alex, annihilating him, he goes to Remy and kicks her into two. As he goes, but they all easily regenerate and basically kill him. But Akane and all of the normal ones come back and fight them off. As you see, Adrian's got a hole in his stomach. Akane says, wait a minute, this is terrible. Sarah says, what? She says, the insides aren't glowing anymore. They're just blue flames. That means they're gonna run out. Sarah says, these clones are pretty strong. As she catches clone Alex's punches him in the face and knocking him back. Alex locks onto his clone and barrages him with multiple punches. Remy locks onto hers, and they start to have a standoff. Troy gets up Adrian and brings him over to a tree to lay him down, as the clones retreat. And he says, what the heck happened, Adrian? And Adrian says that Adrian is struck by fear when he sees their faces. Because he actually wasn't in control when he destroyed them, when he fought back. The wolf was in control. He doesn't know that, but he is still scared as he smacks away Troy's hand as they can see that he's clearly shaking. As that was scary. His friends, who we thought were, basically almost just killed him, and he had to fight back because he didn't want to hurt his friends. He doesn't want to do that. He is not that kind of a cold person. He's not the type of person to just walk up and punch his friend in the face. He's the person who will buy his friend an entire house just for their birthday. He's that type of person. As he's jumping around, as he gets away from them, but then he starts to hallucinate images of the clones coming right at him. As he can't even walk straight. As he has a humongous mental toll on him. This dude has too much of a mental toll. As he finally regains consciousness normally, and he says, but then he's put into a black void where he can't see anyone. He sees all the clones, and they're putting his worst nightmares in. As they are torturing him, as there's nothing he can do. Unless the clones are defeated, he's basically inactive. As Mr. Johnson feels sad, saying he's definitely he's definitely not in his own body, so he's basically dead. Akane says, what? He's dead? How can we fix this? He goes, there is a way. We have to defeat those clones, and then we can get out of here. Then we can get him straight back into his soul. His soul straight back into his body. He goes, thanks. He says, yes, as they head to the lair, blowing it down. as they'd go in to rush and kill all the clones, but sadly that wouldn't happen. He'd go, as Adrian in his mind, in his soul, finds that he's in the afterlife. And and God says you have two choices. You have to go to heaven and become an angel of guardian, or hell. A demon of a goddess of death. Christian sees a blue light away in the back and pulls out his goggles to try and see what it is. He zooms in and sees a person, looks like a goddess with blue fire wings, blue flame hair, a scythe, a horn, and much more, and a cape. He says, "Who's that down there?" God smiles, saying that that's the first person who's ever seen that. Everyone else just focuses on getting to heaven because they all want to see their loved ones, and most of the people who go to hell, their loved ones go to hell too because they want to come with them. But since you chose that, come on. As he gets it, and but he can't. He has to make his journey. As he runs at full speed, but it just seems like he's getting farther. God says that it's gonna take him a couple of days to get there. It doesn't take you just one day. He says even if with that tornado state, it won't even take you. It'll still take you days. And he goes, "Ah!" As he rushes, saying that I feel much faster. As he's running. As back then, they're trying to fight, but the clones are way too powerful. As the clones got a strand of Adrian's DNA, and now now clone Adrian is created as he blows down. As then number 10 comes out and annihilates all of them, washing the floor with them. Basically pulling out a mop and start sweeping like and destroying all of them. They're getting pummeled. Akane shoots out a beam and activates her aura burst. And her aura bursts open. Let's just pretend like you hear the Goku Black music where it goes da-da-dan. As he looks at them, saying, "The GIF is up, brats." Now, he looks at him saying, no, he looks at them, telling, "This is it, Earthlings."
For the sake of our most glorious project, you will die today!
As he annihilates all of them, putting holes in their stomach. As Adrian finally makes it, as they're getting beaten down for days, and they're tied up to a wall as they're whipped and destroyed. As Christian's focusing on just getting there and doesn't realize, so when he gets there, he shakes their hand. His hair flows up, but with no flames. It's just strands of flames. It's basically like a blue Ultra Instinct, if you think about it. He has a scythe with him, a horn on his head that grows. It's the left side of his head. A blue fire horn grows, and it's not too big. He doesn't grow wings. His hair flows up a little bit with tiny tints of blue fire in it. His eyes are glowing blue, and he wields a scythe on his back. And instantly, a giant beam of light comes down. They're smiling because they know it's him. As instantly, when he drops down, 10 tells the clones to attack him, as Adrian says, give me a second. Oh crap. Oh, da. Adrian tells them,
shut your mouth, dream a dream and get us out.
as he pulls out his scythe, going, as he throws it, cutting all their heads off, as he goes, dream you little babe. As he looks at them, as they regenerate and come at him, he says again, he goes, he tells them,
Close your eyes, shut your mouth, dream a dream and get us out.
as he pulls out a scythe and throws it, as he goes, as it cuts off their head, all of them, as he destroys them all with little to no difficulty. As he takes them off the podium, thing is, they all fall to the ground as they can still stand. As he goes, as he says, as Ten says, by bursting Zora, you will die today. As Christian says, is that so? He says, as Christian says to him, happily, he goes, as he looks at them happily, he's going,
The life of Light Yagami.
no, he says to them, the life of Light Yagami, Death Note. As he tells him, as he looks at them going, because we all need the most evil laugh in anime. Soda. As he looks at him, now we need the perfect fighting music for this, and I have it. Now this is from a video from Max Stark. It's called Ash vs. Paul, AMV. You want to watch it? The song's pretty good at the beginning. I kind of like it, not gonna lie. I remember watching this like a year ago. Let's get the perfect fighting. As the hair in front of his ear, in front of his face, flows out of his face as he goes. As he gets into a stance, getting ready. Get into a freaking Goku stance and goes. His fist instantly lights up with blue fire as he blinks as he goes. As Ten easily blocks it with his shield, as Christian goes. As he crushes through it. As he goes. As he charges up blue flames in his hand and shoots it out as he goes. He's blocking it, but it's not doing too much, as Adrian's pummeling the shield, crushing it, as he goes, and throws two discs, which cut through his arms, would just regenerate, as he goes, as he decides to use some rhythm that he can use, and instantly, he starts to shoot attacks at him, but then, he uses a giant rock and places it on top of Adrian as he goes. As he shoots a blast into the air, ready to kill him, Adrian goes and barrages the ground to get back. And with a final punch, launches him into the air, and absorbing the blast and shooting it back at him as he goes, creating a massive explosion. And another fire punch comes and hits him in the face. As he's dodging all of his hits. As he creates an orb in his hand and hits him in the stomach with it. And hits Ten in the stomach with it as he goes. As he launches him into the sky straight away and shoots him into the sky. Oh yeah, guys, don't ask me what the song's called. I don't know either. I like it though. As he creates two blue flame discs, launching them as 10 powers up even more and easily destroys them. As Adrian is clashing with him, but he can't win. He's shot in the cheek, putting him on one area as he goes. As he masters it, as his hair flares up in blue flames. His entire hair is blue flames. As everything's flared up as he goes. As he goes. As he instantly flares it up. As it works. He's mastered it. As then he grabs his scythe and starts to charge at full power, cutting through the barriers. And throws his sword up in the air and creates a blue flame fist as he goes. As he crushes his face. As he launches him into space. As he goes, but then directs his fist to the ground. As he goes, as he launches him to the ground, crushing him. As then, when he launches another boulder at him, Adrian easily just crushes it. He creates a fire fist going. As he literally annihilates him with a punch. As then the clones come back, as he goes, and puts his hand behind his head as he goes, his fist glows and then annihilates all of them. As he goes, as instantly he shoots attacks at him, like these little missiles, as Adrian spins on his back, creating a fiery barrier, kind of like Counter Shield. As he says, Counter Shield! As it's blocking all of the attacks, launching them right back. As then he grabs Adrian's throat, but Adrian just expands his fist, putting blue flames around and punching him. He goes, "You never cease to amaze me, Adrian, but I won't lose to you!" As he powers up all the way to his maximum, as he's actually enjoying this fight, not wanting to kill him. As Adrian pulls out two scythes this time and rushes at him with wings actually appearing. As he grows wings and the horn grows even bigger as he goes. As he goes. He goes with his two scythes getting ready, charging up a humongous flames in them. As he charges up his own giant attack from his hand, as he goes, as Adrian goes. As it charges up even bigger, crushing it to the ground. As he rushes at him, cutting the ground. As he jumps into the air. And he does too as he clashes. But cutting through the orb as he goes, and says out loud. As he cuts through the orb. As he goes, and cuts through. Defeating him. As he smiles as he faints. As that was insane. He just annihilated the guy who took out his entire friends. As then and this is it for now, guys. I'm probably just gonna watch YouTube.